What's up, y'all? Force Conversation. And today we got a special guest. We got Dacier with us. We've been trying to get him on the channel for a while, but hey, times are busy. He's a busy man. He's got stuff to do. Dacier, how you doing today, bro?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. How about you, man?
Hey, I'm doing all right. Like we said, it's been busy, but the sun is shining.
Yep.
Weather's good. Got to take advantage of it while we can.
Yeah,
So
we've been trying to hook up for a while now. So just scheduling, right?
yeah, stuff happens. There's stuff going on. That's okay, right? That's just part of life. That's just part of life. But I know we've been playing this game for a while, Marvel Strike Force, and you had some comments recently. What's going on? How are you feeling about the game right now?
It to me it's been a little stale. I do think the Strike Spot video did address a lot of those concerns that I've been having. And I ended up doing a video where it's just needs kind of air my grievance and find out what's the underlying issue for why I didn't want to log in the game. A lot of it did have to do with negative zone and 2 week leaderboards and just nothing really to push for, if that kind of makes sense. So like right now I know not everybody has Xavier, so they still have that chase to go for. But once you get Xavier, then it really just you hit a wall and you kind of stall out. So I do think they need to kind of keep up with those 6-month chases, which I think they kind of hinted at that in the video for the Strike Spot, because I kind of missed it the first time where they were talking about the Battle World characters and why they don't have the Mythic tag. Then they said, well, if we put the Mythic tag on them, then we're going to have about 4 or 5 Mythic characters a year. I'm like, okay, that means that every 6 months we should be getting a new Mythic character. So I think that kind of helps it as well. And I think we just need a little bit more clear communication as well to kind of say, hey, this is the roadmap. This is what's going on. So that Strike Spot video really did help, in my opinion.
Outstanding. No, I did think there was a lot of juice there, and I'm right. I'm mostly free to play, so I don't have Xavier yet, but I understand. Right, you get the shiny new toy, you get to hit people with them, and then now you need what's next. I mean, that's just life, right? You always need what's next, and if you don't have that, then things can get kind of stale.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely. Where are you at in the Xavier saga, out of curiosity?
I just finally, like 2 days ago, got Gear Tier 20 on, I can't remember. Let's say maybe it's Hit Monkey. So
okay,
that's my 3 skill characters, and then I was able to take the 2 from the Night Stalkers, got through that section. And so now I think the next stop is Global Villain.
Yep, Global Villain is next. That one's like super easy too, so real fast and short on that one.
But back to grinding for the gear again.
Yep, that you are.
Which is okay. So concerning the negative zone, what do you think could be done to improve that?
I think just kind of what they mentioned in the video for the Strike Spot, basically saying, hey, just do this 1 or 2 times, like have that first run, have the timed run. I think just doing a single run is perfectly fine. And then after that, have it to where you have a choice to go in to kind of like farm the extra Gear Tier 20 pieces. That would have been fine. Tying it to the leaderboard and kind of forcing you to do it just kind of makes you feel bad. At least makes me feel bad. It's like, I have to do this, otherwise I'm going to drop in the leaderboard. And then I found out that Mole Gamer, he did like his 2 runs and he was done. And I missed about 4 days of it. He was doing the campaign energy for the Omega Red event that was going on. So he was just doing core refreshes. There was only like 1,000 rank difference between us. I'm like, I got burned out. I got like huge disdain for the game because of it, to where I did not want to log into the game. You spent power cores. You got your time and kind of freedom of it. So I think that was just kind of a real, definitely more of a feel bad moment, I guess you can say. So, but yeah, I think just having the choice to go in instead of kind of forcing you to go in would have been a much better option.
So then just like removing the leaderboard, that would give people the freedom, or
just remove the leaderboard points from the nodes itself, I guess, because I know you got like the orbs from it. Just tie those to like the Omega Red ones to the first and second run. Do the math to see, okay, if you end up doing this for the 14 days or 7 days, whatever, throw those into the 2 runs, kind of distribute out between that way. The Omega Red, you can keep that in there, but don't have those node fragments tied to the leaderboard, I think would have helped as well. Just whatever it is that was tied to the leaderboard, they just kind of need to loosen up on that. I think would have been a much better option.
Solid. I mean, I don't know what they were thinking. In my mind, I
Yeah.
pretend sometimes to know. Like because for example, I know sometimes people say, "Well, what if we had like a dark dimension that we could just keep rerunning, and get stuff?" So maybe that's what they had on their mind. However, if you tie it, like you said, you tie it to someone having a competitive advantage, then it's not leisure. You're not doing it when you feel like doing it. You're not doing it to experiment with. Now it's part of the job.
Yeah,
That can get
exactly.
frustrating.
Which somebody had commented on that for me as well. It's like, it's funny because we asked to have like reruns for Dark Dimensions, which is kind of what this was, but it's being forced to do it. And if you don't do it, you're going to drop heavily on that leaderboard. Because I was like top 1,000 because I was able to get Omega Red to 7 stars. So I was able to use them in Crucible for that, get the huge extra points for it. But I missed about 4 days of that. So I went from like top 1,000 down to about 2,500. And Mobile Gamer got like 3,500. So there was like a leaderboard difference between us, which I got extra gear tier 20 for Mutant Gear. But again, I don't need that. So the leaderboard is all about the diamonds, and I could have just stopped and I would have been fine.
I got stuck on, I don't know if it's like the second or third node. There's like a bunch of tanks, and 2 of them are the Black Knight, I think. So
yeah.
I got stuck in there for a couple of days, and I was just like, whatever, like,
Yeah.
hit auto, whatever I got. So I didn't even finish the first run. It was a couple weeks ago, whenever that happened, but
yeah,
it is what it is.
I was able to auto most of it. So like I used Night Stalkers, Odin, Mephisto on the raid section. I could just hit auto. If the cooldowns and charges kind of got messed up, then I'd have to like manual like one of the nodes, because node 2 through 4 is usually node 3 that I kind of got tripped up on, to where I had to kind of keep doing reruns of it. That was like the tricky part. And then at the end, I just did a Curse Mephisto, and I could auto that section as well. So I haven't even logged in and done the new negative zone yet. I don't want to. I really don't want to go back in there. I hate it so much. And then people's like, oh, but the arena portion's so hard. They're like trapped on that section. I'm like, I'll wait for Reed Richards then. So Reed Richards came out. I might go in today. We'll find out. I have 2 weeks.
Yeah, we got plenty of time.
Yep. As long as I don't get stuck and have to kind of mess up my 2 runs, I'll try to figure it out.
So from your perspective, what would you say is the number one issue with the game right now?
I think there's 2 things. For endgame players, it's not having the next mythic out, or like at least teased on who it's going to be, to kind of build hype up for that character. Having that kind of line up with where the events are kind of stale. So like they were trying to experiment things, which I think is very cool. Danger Zone was a huge hit. I love Danger Zone. I thought it was or Danger Room. I'm thinking Kenny Loggins over here. But Danger Room, I think, was a huge hit. So I'm happy that's in the game. But yeah, not having another chase character to where we can't even really plan for it, because like ISO 4 and 5 aren't out yet for the purple. I think once that comes out, then it's like, okay, now we have that itch going. We have that chase character. Let's get going. That's going to help the end game players. For new players, mid game players, I'm hearing a lot of concern about the store currency. I know you kind of voiced your opinion about that one before. Which how is it for your like baby account? Like, is it that bad to where like you can't really purchase anything? I'm kind of curious on your take.
So again, I'm coming in as I'm have a new account, but I am an experienced player. So I know that I don't need everything, right? You have all this currency. There's sometimes there's talk about, Aries and pre-Aries and post-Aries. And so sometimes we get the idea that we just grab all this stuff and it's going to help my account, which I would caution newer players because you don't have the, just because you can grab them, you don't have the resources to build all those characters up. However, what I did do is I don't know, I converted all my credits down to, so I had, I think, like, I don't know, like 5 million, just so I had a baseline. So I know that, all right, I have like an even this much. How fast does it drop? And so that's been a couple months. And right now I'm sub 4 million. So I'm in the high 3 millions right now. So I'm draining currency. And I guess the reason why I bring that up is because I know that at a certain point, I believe, if I understand correctly, you still do get that gift at some point of 2 million currency. If that's still true, then again, even for a person like myself who's frugal, I am draining that down. And I'm only going after stuff that I think is necessary, stuff that I think I can use, stuff that I think I can power up. So I do think that that is an issue. And yeah, I'm not sure how they plan on interjecting more currency in, if they do. And I don't know what's going to happen as we move from the chapter 1 to the chapter 2. So it is a concern. It is a concern. I definitely see that a lot more clearly now. And I think I brought up recently once or twice. I'm at least curiosity of what the solution might be.
So what's the bottleneck for you? Is it like because I remember when Dorky was doing his baby account like a year ago, and you kind of play that for a bit. His main bottleneck, I think, was like the T3s and the T2s, I think, to get the skill ups and the purple gear. I think he was fine with the orange gear, but the purple gear was kind of a little bit more of a bottleneck, if I recall. Is that kind of what it's still going on with that?
So at the moment, from my perspective, I can just talk about what I experienced this year. You do run into that really early. You don't have enough tier 2s and tier 3s, but you get past that relatively quickly. You probably run into that in the first 2 weeks, but somewhere in the first month, you're past that. Tier 4s they're tough.
Yep.
You have to, you don't have enough to put on all the characters, so you got to think about that. And then, in all honesty, right now, it seems pretty good. It seems like, so my count's like 4. I got to look at the date. It's over 4 months old, probably getting close to 6 months. So it's kind of moving into that end game economy.
Right.
So the bottlenecks right now, things are going really good with gold and training materials. The bottleneck for me right now is getting the unique pieces, and that's throughout. So I don't stop at orange gear, right? I was stuck at orange gear for a minute, even though I was advanced past it, because I needed that unique piece to get those characters up. When we started getting into difficulty, when I got my raid team strong enough to do difficulty 3 on the what do you call it? The new raid, whatever it's called.
The Chaotic Storm. Right.
Then I was getting like hundreds and hundreds of orange gear orbs a day. So finally, at some point, you're going to get what you need between that and the store. But now it's happening again with the teal gear, and that's taking longer. So you get a character up ready, and that's taking days. I don't complain as long as if I can get the next character powered up before the current character powered up before the next one. But it's tight, if I'm making sense. And maybe that's supposed to be what the bottleneck is. If that's the only bottleneck, I think I can deal with that. But it's a thing. I don't know if I'm answering the question or not.
Yeah, you definitely did it. Because I know, I think it was about the last month, I noticed I had a huge influx of T4s, because I always was cautious, well, I don't want to do this basic, I don't want to do this special, I don't really need it. And then Reed Richards came out today, and I had 3,300 T4s. I'm like, okay, I can do all of them now. And when Invisible One came out, I was at 2,400. So I had a huge bump because we just had the war payouts and everything. So they eventually loosen up, but I was always frugal with my T4s. I want to do the essential ones, the high values and all that stuff. And then eventually it just kind of opened up. So I'm not sure what changed, but something did with the T4s.
Maybe they're listening, man. I don't think they want 15
Mhm.
bottlenecks. You got to have some.
Yeah, you have to have some. Otherwise, you get bored. It's like, oh, I can do anything I want. So I get it.
Oh, so maybe they're listening a little bit, man. Oh, let's see. So you've been vocal about player fatigue.
Hmm.
What do you believe is causing it the most right now? Monetization, time, or would you say something else?
Um, so I know for the spenders and like the high whale kraken thing, their concern is they're not getting much of an advantage, which I always like in the camp of, oh, you're crazy. You got these diamonds, you got this overpower thing, you're good. And then I started talking to more people like Dave, and I listened to Ceci more in chat because Ceci kind of trolls a little bit, which is always amusing. But and then I kind of put myself in their shoes, like, okay, so on their level, what is their advantage? I can purchase one character, get them to 3 stars. I can core up to 4 stars pretty much every single character. Then I'm going against about 7 reds, maybe diamonds on them. I can kind of outskill that to where I can kind of push through to where they really don't have that advantage. Okay, so what about overpower? It's been around for so long in Crucible, even during the first month, certain matches I was able to kind of like outmaneuver that portion of it. So overpowered's not really in their favor as much as we all kind of thought initially, unless it's like war, because war overpowered's just insane. Because the roster's so much wider that with like those 10 rooms, 10 attack, 10 defense teams, as opposed to 6 versus 6 teams. Um, so war, there's definitely like an issue there. But what advantage do the Krakens get for spending all that money? Really nothing. The G20s, they've had those characters around for so long, those leaderboards don't really mean much to them because it really doesn't mean as much to me as it used to. And I noticed that within about the past month or so. So I think that's fatiguing out a lot of the Krakens because there's also not any new things in the game except for Danger Room. Danger Room's like the new hotness and everything. The events are just kind of rerun events and everything. And I've also noticed that hoarding's kind of back on the menu because this is the second or third event now where we have to hoard campaign energy, and that's tied to a big leaderboard event. So hoarding's back on the menu. So people aren't spending as much campaign energy as they used to kind of farm up training mats, gold, and all that stuff. So I think that's an issue. Um, so it's kind of overarching theme as far as like the end game stuff goes. A lot of the new players, mid game players, I haven't really heard much complaints about them. They say, well, that's more of an end game problem. I'm about 6 months in. I'm having fun. I'm enjoying this type of thing, which is fantastic. But once they get to the end game, they're kind of in my boat and a lot of the end game player boats, like your main account boat type of thing. I think they'll kind of run into that, especially when they keep running Battle World, and Battle World's just kind of a miss. So hopefully in 2 months, yeah, about 2 months, hopefully we got the new Battle World. We have Century. That's going to be a nice itch for everybody to kind of, hey, let's get this Century up and going. So I think that's going to help. So I think we're just kind of in the stale time right now, which the game always has that roller coaster where it's like, hey, we're on this big high right now. We have all this great stuff in the game. We're on the lower end of it. So I think that's a lot of the main issues is like the events, nothing to do for end game leaderboards, the Krakens. They don't really have anything to really get the competitive advantage. And I think that's where they need to try to introduce that ISO 4 and 5 a whole lot sooner rather than wait around like another month or two. Because my guess is October is when the next Chase Mythic would end up being if they end up doing that, which it sounds like they are. So that's going to be about 3 months away. So I think ISO needs to come in about next month or two. Then the month after that, have that tied to the Mythic character. That's what I would think would need to happen to kind of like get the rejuvenation back in the game itself, is my thinking.
Spoke well, man. You spoke well. Like I want to say thanks for saying it, bro, because I think a lot of people don't appreciate like that part. That I mean, like I
Mm-hmm.
said, I'm not really a spender, but I I'm in a my alliance is super aggressive. I'm not the
Yeah.
strongest by a long shot in my alliance, but like we play war, and like you said, unless the teams are like super kitted out, gear tier 20, in the defense is meant to be a stonewall defense. With strategy, we talk about it. I can still overcome it with my pretty
Yeah.
much free to play account. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, and I don't spend a lot of time with spenders, but then you start talking to people and they spent like, I mean, let's say they spent $500 on a character, and I just ran over that with my free
Exactly.
my free character, right? So they're not, I don't think that they're complaining in this, right? They're not complaining out of entitlement. They're like, bro, I spent some money here and I just want my guy to stand up for a little bit, not
Yeah, I
just
mean,
fall over.
imagine if you spent about $300 on Reed Richards today. You get him all the way up to that 7. So he's a 7/7. Say I do one path 2 orb. I spend $5, or I get that free orb that they gave for the path 2 for Reed. Say I get the 180 pull. I got him unlocked. He's about 3 or 4 stars now. And I end up beating him with a 3/3 character that I just spent $5 on, and you spent $300 on. That's where it's like, okay, there is definitely a discrepancy. So something needs to kind of happen. So what advantage are they actually getting? Really nothing. So when I started putting myself in those shoes and kind of thinking about it, it's like, you know what? They're actually right. They have some advantage, obviously, because they can actually get the money, get the stars, the stats, and everything. But it's a fine line. Like, what advantage do they need that's not going to break the game and push the spender or the free to play way? Because obviously we need the free to play people for them to kind of beat down on, you know? So it's like the whole hierarchy. It's like Krakens beat whales, whales beat dolphins, dolphins beat guppies, and then guppies can beat like the free to play. So you always need that kind of chain occurrence to happen in there. And I don't know what the answer is. When I was on stream yesterday, Diamond Dave hopped in chat, and I'm like, hey, I agree with you. You guys don't have as big of an advantage as everybody kind of makes it seem. What needs to come in the game? What needs to happen? And Dave didn't have an answer either. My answer is we need to get that purple 4 and 5 in the game like yesterday. We need that in there. We need that next progression system. That way they can get that advantage. They can start purple 5ing multiple characters where we're struggling to get one character skilled up on that. So I'm hoping that ends up coming sooner rather than later. It sounds like that was going to be Q3 based on that roadmap that they put out, but I think it needs to be sooner than that.
Got Big Positive Geeks. What's up, bro? How are
How's
you,
it going?
Thanks for joining the chat. And people, you can comment. You can put your comments in. We take comments as well. No, man. I mean, I know you've played some other games, and again, this is things people don't want to hear, right? I play a fair amount of games, but usually the gap in most mobile games is insurmountable. Like a whale is, I mean, you're talking, I was playing like DC
Worlds Collide?
No, the other one.
Oh, Dark Legion?
Dark Legion, yeah. DC Dark Legion.
I played both,
And some of the, when you've seen it, man, some of those other alliances, or when you're playing those matchups, you're like, dude, how can that person have that much power? Like, it's that person could quit the game today. I could keep playing for 6 months and I don't know if I catch him, right?
Yeah.
So Marvel Strike Force has always been not as the gap has never been that big, and I don't know. I'm not advocating for that, but there could be a tolerance for a bigger gap.
Yeah. I mean, I like the leaderboards where they're giving the diamonds to those Krakens on the leaderboards. Maybe even if they lighten like the top 5,000 to like top 2,500 gets the diamond, I don't think that's going to fix the issue either, because the red star characters are beating the diamond characters. So maybe they need to introduce like Diamond 4, Diamond 5. I don't know if that would end up doing it either. Something that I found interesting is Omega Red Phoenix Force. I got 1 diamond on him due to that leaderboard event. And I've been going against a lot of 1 diamond Omega Red Phoenix Force in Cosmic Crucible. He's a totally different character with that diamond on him. He is insane to try to kill. And he hits like a semi, just like plowing through a wall. It's insane what he can do and everything. But Diamond Dave said there was no difference in going against a 1 diamond and 3 diamond of Omega Red Phoenix Force, which I found very interesting because he went against a bunch of like 2s and 3s, and he's like, it's kind of the same as far as that goes and everything. So maybe they need more diamonds. I don't know. The purple, if they can do that right, I think that's going to help. That would end up getting the other progression of overpowered. But what needs to happen on the overpowered would end up being the other question for that one, because you don't want it breaking the game. Because when overpowered came, a lot of people weren't happy about that as far as like what that ended up doing for the extra damage boost and everything. Now we can kind of navigate with like high speed characters. Just go first, hit them fast, hit them hard type of thing. So I'm not quite sure.
No, I agree. I agree. Big Positive Geeky saying stats don't matter, which I get what you're saying.
I mean, Superior 6 beats Liberty like easily, single-handedly in Cosmic Crucible. So that's a very old team going against a very new team. So he's right.
There can be some of that. I mean, I'm curious of your opinion. I guess there can be some of that, like characters or teams that are made for mode whatever could kind of be like a trump card over teams that aren't. But that's a huge difference in, like you said, Liberty stats versus Superior 6 stats. That's a huge difference. That's surprising. I did not know that. Maybe there needs to be I don't know, more PvP modes. I don't know.
The interesting thing is they're releasing more very high speed characters. So I'm kind of wondering if that's intentional, because if you look at it, like Silver Sable 129 speed, Songbird 131 speed, we have 129 speed with Invisible Woman, we have 131 speed with Franklin. Those are all very high plug and play characters also, to where you don't need that full team if you don't want to. So that's one way that you can really counteract the overpowered, is bring those characters in, just blast them away. So I'm wondering if like maybe the next rendition of overpowered is going to be something where it's like a defensive stat or high resistance type of thing, if they do go that route. Or I've been playing one of the games, Marvel Mystic Mayhem. They have those like highlight cards. I'm wondering if that was supposed to be moments, and they're looking to maybe add something like that, and where you can kind of plug this card or something on the character, and then that like gives like another stat boost on them type of thing. So I think that could help, but I don't know how soon that would end up coming to the game, because moments just kind of fell off to where that's not a thing. I think they need something to kind of give that advantage to those spenders while not like breaking the game. I do think something like that needs to come.
You got to turn the dial up somehow.
Yeah, it's that fine line. It's a definite fine line.
No, I agree. You see, I think I had some. What other questions I got here? Let's switch gears. The game economy. Mm-hmm. What's your take on the Intel store in general and the new currencies?
I was in a very, very weird spot for a little bit. So I got up to about 700,000 Intel currency. After I got Xavier unlocked, I went through my roster. Okay, who do I want to actually take up to G20 now? And let's go through each of the kind of origin traits of them. So for skill, I had a Lilandra skilled up. Obviously, we needed her. So I had Black Knight. I did end up taking him up. I did end up taking up Daredevil Modern. So I have 4 of the 5 Vigilante characters done. And I already had Thanos Endgame done. It's like, okay, so I don't really need any other skilled characters because I just took up 2 extra, and I was kind of set for tech. I waited a little bit, then I did take up Omega Red or Omega Sentinel. So she got taken up. There really wasn't a lot of new tech characters with the post-Ares stats I wanted to take up on there, because I already took up Howard the Duck. I didn't want to take up Rocket. So that's 2 origin traits I don't need to buy from the Intel store. For bio, I was hoarding that for the Fantastic Four team. So I have the 2 new ones at G20. I have enough now to get Franklin up. So I am still purchasing bio gear. Mutant, I was buying all of that to basically hoard up and get ready for the Hellfire Club because I knew that was coming because we did the player vote for that one. I took up Omega Red because I took APOC over him for the Global Villain section. So I didn't really have a lot of mutant characters I wouldn't take up. Oh, and I took up Old Man Logan. So there were some characters I took up plus the hoarding. So I bought a lot of mutant gear. Mystic, I bought some of that. But once I got like my core done and then the bonus characters, I kind of got to the point where it's like, well, let me just make sure I can take 1 or 2 characters up of each trait. That way, when the new teams come out, I can take up 1 or 2 of the characters and I'll keep buying. I got up to where I had 700,000 intel currency. It's like, okay, what am I going to buy? I don't want to spend it on the characters because I already had them all up to about 5 stars. They're doing what they need to do. So I ended up pulling the trigger. I bought Silver Sable's 3rd diamond. So I got knocked down to about 100K. I'm building that back up. I'm almost up to 200K now. It's like, and I'm only buying like 2 different origin traits at this time because I don't need it, because I don't need extra skill. I don't need extra tech. So once it gets to X amount of days, I need to see how many days are left before I need to actually just purchase every G20 in the store. So I'll be kind of looking at that to make sure I don't like have any wasted currency. But I'm kind of in that weird spot, which is why I said those leaderboards don't really mean as much to me as they used to. And if it doesn't mean as much to me, what's the leaderboard doing to those Krakens, the whales, and everything? So that's where I was saying like the economy and everything's kind of weird as far as that goes. The gold economy, I'm consistently over 300 million gold. I know people don't like hearing that because people have gold issues. Training mats, I have like over 2,000, or I have an insane amount. I can take up like 3 characters to 105 right now from like level 1. So eventually going to get to that spot. It's just, it takes a long time. I've been playing this since basically beta, and I took about maybe a year off because I didn't know what I was doing. Then I came back when Black Order was kind of wrapping up their thing and Doc Ock just came out. So I did quit for a while, then I came back, and I've been playing it every day since. So eventually you will get to that point, but like gold, training mats, intel, I don't worry about any of that stuff, honestly.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh.
When I saw my gold, because I kept trying to stay over 100 million gold, then it's like, okay, new team comes out. I can basically take up those 2 rework characters. I get back up to 100 million before the next character comes out. Then I kept doing that. Then it got to, okay, I could stay over 200 mil. Now it's over 300 mil. What am I going to spend my gold on? I'm not going to take up characters like Hydra Sniper. I'm sorry, Vin, but I don't want to do that. BPG, gold's good. Training mat's fine. You need to focus. Exactly. I was farming gold nodes every single day. Now I'm switching it to training or nodes every single day. And then the campaign event just happened. Now I'm just going to farm all of them every single day. So, yeah.
Those things seem like, what am I trying to say? It seems, this is just my opinion. I think they are trying to take care of those auxiliary things. Like they gave us a lot of gold. Training mats are getting better. Now they're just handing out training mats on all these challenges and whatnot. And maybe then they want the bottleneck to be whatever the meta, I don't know. So gear tier 20 and or when we get to the next purple. Now, I suppose the intent then is that for that to also be part of the divided line between the spender and the free to play. But I think kind of what we were talking about before, Big Positive keeps talking about it here as well. Like, are the characters strong enough to give that
That's
that
the thing. Like, you don't need to take every single character up to 105. Like the new characters, new teams, I definitely do. When I was backtracking at my previous teams, I took Cabal up because I played Crucible all the time. So I didn't feel bad taking them up. It took me a while to get Hela up and some of the Undying members up and Ares up because they were doing the job at level 100. Eventually, they started to stop doing their job. So I did take them up to 105. So you just kind of have to be mindful, like Superior 6 with the Sinister 6, that's about 7 or 8 characters. I didn't take all of them up to 105. I still don't have all of them up to 105. I have about 3 or 4 of those 8 characters at the 105 mark. The rest are sitting at 100. I didn't G20 any of them either. So you just have to be really smart and mindful of your resources. Is the team doing the job? If it is, don't take them to 105. That's going to save you. Was that like it's not 4 million gold? I think it's like what, 10 million gold to go from like 100 to 105. It's something insane. So that's going to save you a lot of resources and training mats right there. So that's what I did.
No, and I think that's wise, man. I think that's wise. Sometimes we, I don't know, not paying attention, right? Just dump everything in, and then we're running out of stuff. Which some of that's going to happen, but like you said, is it for the right reason?
Yeah, I agree that for new players, G20 is the bottleneck. Yeah, 9 million gold. Thank you, BPG. I knew it was something like close to 10 million, but yeah, the G20 for new and early players and free to play type of thing, I definitely get that's the bottleneck. I think they're loosening up the bottlenecks. They're starting to add those into the passes and the leaderboards. They're being more kind with those. So as long as you can try to push to that 5K mark, then you will notice a huge difference. It's like that 5K is the cutoff point to where there's the big jump in the G20s.
Hey man, news to me. I don't do a lot of pushing, but
yeah. At every leaderboard, I try to push over 5,000, and then if you're a spender and you can actually get to those like marks where it's like, hey, use this character at 5 stars, I can usually break like top 2K. So I'm trying to get a few more power cores. I got Reed up to 4 stars. I got some really good pulls on my power cores, and that's a 7-day leaderboard. I think I can push them to the 5 stars. I need like 50 shards. So I'm going to try to do a ore pull a day and try to get up to that 5 stars to get that extra bump on the leaderboard.
PPG says it's out of the range. It's out of the range.
I know Rage Gaming, he was able to get top 5K on that negative zone leaderboard, which props to Rage Gaming. That was a tough leaderboard.
I got to look at more Rage. He does good stuff, man.
He's awesome. I've been following him since like I came back to the game. I saw him as a free to play. He helped me like guide through like those villain nodes and everything where they had to use aim and stuff. He's really good. I like him.
Oh, yes, he's a good player. Mm-hmm. He's a good player.
Yeah.
What do you feel about the way the teams are designed right now? They generally speaking need all 5 characters. Mm-hmm. Is that good or is that too limiting?
Oh man. How to phrase this one? I noticed since the Immortal X-Men Mighty Avengers, they definitely were leaning teams into their lanes, and that's like where it really started with. You need the full teams. Liberty is a fantastic team. They're good like everywhere, which is really cool. That's an awesome team. The whole needing the full team, I don't like it because I like my theory crafts and I like being able to throw like I took out this team in Crucible where I had to use a Mephisto, a Captain Britain. Then I threw in Quasar, Songbird, and Invisible Woman. So I like outsped them. I stopped their turn meter, and I basically crushed that team. It was I think it was Phoenix Force team in stage 6. And there was a Thanos Endgame and a Kahori and somebody else. So granted, I had Mephisto, which definitely helped take out that Omega Red, but that's the theory of crafting I like, where it's like, hey, let's throw these characters together and have fun with it. I don't like it when we have to use those like pre-designed teams. So I'm like really against that, but I'm just trying to cope with it and everything. So now it's like, okay, so I have Immortal X-Men, I have Starjammers, I have a Curse. That's 3 teams. I need to try to come up with 3 more teams for Crucible. Where can I use these teams? Well, I can't use Starjammers in this room, like stage 6, because I can't ult turn 1. I can't use them in stage 3. I can't ult turn 1, and I'm not going to kill anybody before that. So that leaves me 4 rooms to where I can use Starjammers. So the rooms combined with that does make it a feel bad thing. So Vigilante end up being a fantastic team because they're good on offense, so that you can just like blast through anything. Accursed was interesting though, and people's like really hating on Accursed because they don't have high investment in them, like the high stars and everything. Just like Omega Red Phoenix Force, once you get that diamond on him, he's a totally different beast. I've gone against like diamond Accursed teams, and they hurt. Like they are hard to take out because they scale so well, which is something I've been preaching. It's like, hey, Helverine, you're gonna think he's gonna suck right now, but once you get him like diamonds, G20 and everything, he's like Gore to where he's just gonna like rip you apart. So Accursed, I think, was a good team to where you need 3 or more allies. So you need like a 4-person team. You can kind of slot in and out that 5th member, but you have to be careful because if you end up losing a Accursed member, the kits fall apart on them. So I think if they go that way, where it's like a 4-person team, make it more modular to where you can kind of slot somebody in that's going to be a good compromise, I think, than needing a full 5-person team. Because the 5-person teams have been really lackluster, in my opinion, in those game modes. So I'm hoping, because Fantastic Four is like that 3-person where you can have 3 or more, then kind of throw whoever you want in the 4th and 5th slot. I'm hoping they're going back on that. So fingers crossed that's happening, at least for me. That's my take on it.
No, I think I understand. I think I understand the reasoning. I think it had to do with, like they were saying, with like high end war, that the counters are just, they're off the charts. There's no way to account for the amount of different characters, which I get, but again, it's a fine line, right? Like you like you said, you don't want, if you got the different characters, if you can use different characters, then that causes people to invest in different characters, right? So they're gonna build the new team, plus bring up people that they weren't planning on bringing up to fill slots. Like there's just cats that you want for certain situations, and you're always gonna bring them along if you're competitive in the mode. So I don't know how that affects their bottom line. But I was definitely on board with it when it started, but now I understand, hey, it is getting a little long in the tooth.
It is. It's too prescriptive, too cookie cutter. But I understand it from the high war aspect, because I always try to like put myself in those people's shoes. So if I'm a high end war player and say I have the 3-piece absolute A force and Invisible Woman came out, but her kit was wide open, or Songbird was wide open, you slot Songbird in absolute A force, that's going to be a nightmare team to try to take out. So just by like making that one tweak, it definitely changes what counter you'd end up using on that team. And that's why those high-end war people would have like those spreadsheets upon spreadsheets of saying, okay, there's absolute A-Force. Who's with them? Is it Mephisto? Okay, we got Mephisto with them. Okay, now who's the other person with them? Songbird, Silver Sable, Hitmonkey. Just throwing out names, and that just totally changes what you would have used on that team previously. So I get it from the high-end war aspect. I just think it's hurting the other players that's not the high end. So again, it's that fine line of where do you want to set it. So I think going with like a 3 or 4-person team, and then you can still have some fun by doing that little bit of theory crafting, I think that would be much better in my opinion.
And maybe, like you said, give them some juice in their mode, like 3 people, and then, but so if they lose one, like you said, if they lose one, now all that stuff goes away. But so I'm trying to understand, BPG, are you saying that it's just people just, it's too complex for the average person, that when people come in, they start playing, they don't understand how the teams work or how the game works?
I know some people, they don't want to do that theory crafting. They just want to grab the team and hit auto type of thing. Because I know Valley's that way with like war and stuff. He's like, I'm just going to grab this 5-person team and hit auto. I don't really care. So I think that's kind of where it's at, to where people don't want the theory crafting. They just want to be told what to use and use those 5 versus 5. I mean, if you want to use like a full vigilante team, go for it. If you want to use a full Immortal X-Men, go for it. But if you're trying to use like a full Absolute A-Force and Crucible, that's not going to do well for you. So that's where the theory crafting kind of comes in. It's like, well, you can take Kahori. You might want to take Medusa, depending if they have Death Proofs on their side. So that's where you kind of need to learn some of the kits, the theory crafting, and what to bring for what. Yeah.
So just in general. No, I can appreciate that. Like I said, I'm not a strategist at all. So, but my alliance is super aggressive in war, and like you said, well, here's our alliance spreadsheet. Here's a global spreadsheet that's just kind of out there. Make sure we look at Marvel Church. Hey, did you watch the latest Dorky video? Did you watch the latest Dacier video? And we have this running tab of like exactly what you're saying. Here's the base team. If this person's there, here's your options. If this person's not there, here's your options. It just keeps going.
Yeah.
Keeps going down. But they love it. Like this is the group of people that love it though. So all their time off, all they do is just do war practice. And I know everybody's not like that, but this is the group that
see, that's the interesting thing for what BPG said. They want these prescriptive teams, but they're adding more of these plug and play characters, like these legendaries, where they don't have teams on them. So that was something I found really interesting when it's like, hey, Quasar doesn't have any tags for a team. So to me, that's saying, well, anybody that's a team from like Immortal X-Men on to where all these teams are like pre-prescribed, where you have to use these 5-person teams or the kits fall apart. That means I have to look at Annihilators all the way up through like Night Stalkers, Orcus, to plug this character in there, because these teams here, I don't want to break up their kits. So that's why I think they're somewhat taking a step back because of characters like Null, Quasar, this new legendary character, and then Sentry, where they don't have a tag. So I think they're somewhat taking a step back a little bit, making it to where it's going to be 3 or 4-person teams. I really want to see what this next team that's comes out as, and that's going to try to answer the question for me. So,
no, agreed. Super curious there, because it is exactly like you're saying. You got a Quasar, no, whoever's next. If there's no room to plug them in,
then what's the point of the character, right? So,
right. So, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what the answer is. I know there's a whole lot going on.
That's in the data mine. I mean, I think that's a very good guess. I don't know if Gideon wants to put that on there.
Steph Curry? Or who did I put for my last one? LeBron James? LeBron James is the new legendary? Steph Curry? Sure. Yep. So even that, right? There's a new cat coming. What's he going to be about? And we're going to assume the same thing, right? He's not going to be, have a team.
I think he's going to be a Crucible plug and play. Because we have the War plug and play right now. Then maybe he's a Arena plug and play, because we have that Fantastic Four team that's going to be an Arena team. And that would end up lining up with Chapter 2. So maybe he's an Arena character, and then that third legendary is going to be Crucible. I think those are the 3 game modes that they're looking at.
I was going to ask you about that. Yeah, man, it makes me outside of the War and the Crucible, I'm wondering what that third person's going to do. Like, I don't know. I think Rays would be bad.
I think Battle World would be bad. It's like, great, so I can play with them like twice a month, maybe once a month. That's going to feel bad for a legendary character.
So maybe you're right, man. Maybe that only leaves Arena. Like because you want them to be able to flex somewhere. You that's the whole point, is to have somebody could just bang, throw down, and make a difference.
And then when Annihilus comes out with those 3 legendaries, that's probably going to be like the Arena meta, I'm guessing. Yeah, I want to know who the 2 reworked characters are going to be, because they said there's going to be 2 reworked characters that's going to be able to slot in with them and kind of rotate around. So I think my guess was Philovel, because she had ties to it. And was it Nova? I think it was Nova was the other one I was thinking. So Philovel and Nova as the reworks, maybe.
Those are good picks, man. I would agree with that.
Yeah,
those are good picks. Those are good
they
picks
definitely fit with the storyline too.
for sure.
Philo Vel had the ties in with Quasar, and I think Nova was part of the Annihilus storyline too.
Yep, he ended up finishing them off there 1-on-1 at the end. The big war.
Yes, that's what it was. That's what it was.
Oh, I was I was I don't know in my brain. I
Mhm,
was just kind of thinking about like, man, like what would they do? Like maybe they'll give them. This is my brain talking.
mhm.
Maybe they'll give them a negative zone tag and maybe a nihilist because that's all I can think of is all these characters will function how they function, and then when a nihilist comes, he'll change it, make it do something different. If they have, let's say, if they had the negative zone tag or whatever, then there's crazy stuff that happens. That's all I
Yeah,
can think.
yeah, right.
Because he'll still be a year old, right? I mean, Quasar's awesome, but he'll still be a year old by the time an nihilist shows up. So how would you make him awesome? You'd have to.
So some people in my alliance kind of feel underwhelmed by Quasar, and other people are saying that too. I'm like, no. When you start messing with Quasar, he's an insane legendary character. That like just focus on the special first, get that defense down out there, get the slows out there, massive damage. Quasar's he's no joke. He's like a really good legendary character.
Yeah. So, so like you're saying, if there's five of them, like, I mean, him by himself, I get what people are saying. He doesn't seem impressive in a vacuum, but
Mhm.
immediately he starts changing the direction of the match immediately. You know, like I
Yeah,
said, he hits hard. If people aren't they're grouped up the wrong way and somebody's you got a weak link sitting there, that guy's gone. And now somebody else is either stunned or ability blocked, slowed. So he
yeah.
can change things.
I'm not familiar with Blastar. I need to do some research on that character. Like I heard of him. I thought his like design when I was a kid. When I saw him, I'm like, he looks dumb. I don't like his design, so I just didn't really pay attention to him. But I know he's like a cool character, so I know that.
He's kind of like a touchstone. I don't know how you call it.
He looks like a Muppet,
He does look kind of muppety.
doesn't he?
He needs an
Like
upgrade in
Fraggle Rock or something.
his appearance. Fraggles. He's a swole up Fraggle. I'll I'll agree with that. He is. No, he's a character they seem to bring out sometimes to cause I don't know what you call it. You're showing the hero has now moved
Probably
up a level. Like Blastar comes out. I mean, he beat the dog stew out of Thor once when Thor didn't have the hammer. He's fought the Hulk, Silver Surfer. Like he just kind of shows up and draws a line in the sand, and then it's the whole hero's journey. They got to figure out how to do the whole
right.
Rocky thing and come up and push back. But
So I'm going to be really disappointed if we don't get like a Human Torch Annihilus, like the Annihilator version of him. I'm going to be really
he's
disappointed if
dope.
we don't get that during this.
He's dope. It looks cool.
Yeah.
The Act 2 legendary is linked to the last team of Act 1. So do we think well now I'm getting confused. Do we think that the Act 3 would have a link to the last team in Act 1? We don't know who the Act 2 legendary is. Linked to the last team of Act 1. I like the logic.
Yeah. I mean, consider they're focusing more on the narrative storyline. I think it's definitely a good chance of that. But the thing is, I don't know what teams would end up being tied to, say, a Blastar type of thing for a Chapter 2 or whatever it's going to be, because we know there's going to be the Hellfire Club. Beyond that, I don't know what the other three teams would end up being, or even have an idea of what they'd end up being during that.
Are there any I know you're a comic fan. Are there any teams or characters maybe? Are there any teams that we don't have in a game yet or characters that you'd really like to see?
Um, I really like Maester Hulk. So when Pathfinder said that he wants more Hulks in the game, my immediate thoughts like, I want Maester Hulk. I want like World War Hulk, like World Breaker Hulk type of thing. I think that'd be awesome. Um, I really want High Evolutionary because I think we need more like really cool bad guys in the game, and stop with like the whole multiple versions of the same character type of thing. Which is funny because I still want like a Infinity War Captain America or Endgame Captain America I think that'd be really cool. I think the Mandarin, I want him. I just want more cool bad guys. I always like the bad guys more because if you do a bad guy right, there's so much more interesting.
Yeah, like I don't play what's that? The Star Wars game,
Oh, Galaxy of Heroes,
Galaxy of Heroes.
where they have
But
like
it
5 different
seems,
Lukes.
yeah, yeah. I mean, that would kind of be cool. But like I think one of the things that they do lean into is they try to stay aligned in Future Fight as well. They try to stay kind of aligned with whatever's happening in the MCU. So when
Yeah.
The man, I'm losing my thoughts now. So when Mandarin, when the movie hit, bang, he's a character. He came to the game, you know.
Yep.
And I know this game's a little
when
different.
Guardians 3 came out.
Yep. Bang. And so
It looks like they're going back to that though, because when Ironheart came out, we got the hood. So that's cool. Fantastic Four is coming out. They're really leaning into Fantastic Four. So I think they are starting to work with Marvel a lot more. It's just we're not really going to have anything until like Doomsday comes out. So
no, I got you. It's a thing, and I don't know that everything wouldn't be cool, but that would have been an opportunity, like you said, for what they call him, Nomad Cap.
Yeah.
Is that who you're talking about? Who had the what kind of?
Yeah, he had like the blades and the beard and everything. Like I want that Cap when we got like Infinity War Thor, we got Infinity War Iron Man, we got Endgame Thanos. It's like, okay, where's Cap? Where's Cap? Incursion's done. Where's Cap? Never got Cap. It's like, man, you can't do that to us.
Oh yeah, I think it's been a great opportunity. Great opportunity.
Yeah, we got World War II Cap instead. It's like, really, man? You gave us World War II Cap where he summons in a tank.
Yeah. Cool, but not cool, right? Like,
yep.
I like Cap, but
I liked how they were doing the what if characters too. Like when we got Doctor Strange, we got Peggy Carter. There was some other what if characters that came into the game. Can't think of them off the top of my head, but we almost had like a full team of what if.
I like that stuff, man.
Mm-hmm.
I like that stuff. I know. I mean, some of it, right? I know they're trying to balance with the player base. There's not everybody super hardcore. They might not know, but I like some of that stuff. I definitely do.
Yeah, like those twists are cool. When they gave us like Captain America, then they gave us like World War II Cap. We had Iron Fist, World War II Iron Fist. Those were two different characters. I'm fine with that. But when they gave us like 2 Ironhearts, like really, you couldn't rework this Ironheart? But it is what it is. We have like 4 Ghost Riders now too, by the way.
There's a lot of Ghost Riders, man. There's a lot of Ghost Riders. Yep, you're right, Kahori.
Yep. She's
a lot of Ghost Riders. Yeah, like there was when the symbiote stuff was going on. I know people are getting tired of it, but like there's a storyline. I can't remember. It's an offshoot. Like Doom turns off electricity, basically, is the offshoot. So everything's like steam powered. But there's a version of Miles Morales he's a bad guy. He's wielding Carnage and Venom.
Ooh.
And I can't remember what they call them, but I was like, just weird offshoots stuff. Not weird, but like, stuff like that. I'm like, man, that would be super dope.
That's right, BPG.
More Ghost Riders. More Ghost Riders. Man. Well, bro, we're probably reaching that hour mark. I don't want to keep you anymore. Thank you so much for taking the time, my man. Thank you so much.
It was fun, man. Time. That time flew by. Hopefully it did for everybody else too.
I had fun.
Yeah, me too.
Where can people find you, bro?
So I do YouTube videos. So I usually post my Cosmic Crucible stuff. Then I try to post like 1 or 2 other throughout the week if I'm like not busy with the new baby on the way and everything. Twitch, I usually do Fridays and Sundays. Saturdays just a little bit more difficult due to timing. But I try to do those 2 days for sure for Crucible and just kind of hanging out and everything. So that's where you guys can find me.
Outstanding, bro. You're a good creator, man. I'm always listening to the strategy. Because I'm not a strategist.
I try. I need to update the spreadsheet as well. So I've been putting a lot of people on there. So like Dinman, Diamond Dave, Old Timey, so King Sheet. So I usually throw all those guys on the counter spreadsheet for Crucible too, if you guys need that.
Awesome. One more thing. Haven't done this before. I'm gonna try to start doing it.
All right.
Can you give me 3 people that I should have on the podcast? They can be creators. They don't have to be. Maybe they're just awesome members of the community that are knowledgeable about a certain topic. Maybe they're YouTubers. Maybe they're Twitch players. 3 people that you think we should have on the podcast.
The first one, I always got to give a shout out to Old Time because I honestly want to be doing this without him. I matched up with him on Crucible one day and we just started talking and everything. Then he was doing those videos. So I kind of asked like, hey, how'd you get into that? So he kind of gave me like the blueprints, like, okay, use these apps on your phone. Then eventually got to where it was on the computer and everything. So always give a shout out to Old Timey. He's awesome. Next one, BPG's in chat. He's always positive. I like his mind and everything. He does a lot of good things for the community. So I'd say him. And then the third one, I want to give Dinman some love. He's newer, really positive guy, and I like his attitude. He's a really cool guy. So I'd say Dinman for the third one.
Bang. There it is. We're going to see. We're going to see if anybody wants to come out. But no, those are great picks, man. Those are great picks. Those are all good folks. And Old Timey, I mean, you know him a lot better than me, but he definitely helped me to stay moving as well.
Yeah.
Gave me some tips for it. I don't know nothing about tech. So same deal. He's just like, hey, man, do this and do that. So I appreciate that, brother. 100%.
Absolutely.
100%. But yeah, man, we will let you get back to real life. Thank you so much for coming by. And the rest of the community, thank you guys for stopping in as well. Everybody take care of themselves and their families.
Yeah. Stay blessed, everybody.
Stay blessed. Hey, man.